Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Wolverine number 40. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Benjamin Percy with art by Ibrahim Mustafa, Frank Dermott on colors, letters by Corey Petit. This is part 4 of Last Mutant Standing. So, if you haven't been keeping up, I've actually been following this little Wolverine event issue by issue. We have something really cool coming after this, the Sabretooth War. But in this one, it's really been Wolverine teaming up with different heroes like Captain America, I think the second one was Black Panther. I don't remember the other one. I think it was the Hulk. So it's been really cool team ups. And now we are here teaming up with Spider-Man. So in this issue, Stark Sentinels get Spider Senses Tingling Last Mutant Standing finale. Logan's journey across the Orchis-controlled globe brings him to New York and a reunion with that great non-mutant superhero Spider-Man. But with the old Parker luck, help Wolverine against the wrath of Stark Sentinels or put the fall in Fall of X. Uh, this has been such a fun crossover. I really like seeing. I think Benjamin Percy, because he captures Wolverine's voice so well, he's also able to really capture what it's like with the relationships. And I think Spider-Man and Wolverine have such a weird, like, mutual respect relationship. They know they're both very capable. I feel like Wolverine, especially in this issue, and I think one of the things that this issue highlights is that Wolverine has realized that in his all this time in Krakoa, he finally learned that he can't do everything by himself, and this is why he was looking for help from those specific heroes that he crossed over with. And with Spider-Man, he realizes that Spider-Man is not only smart but is also very capable. Now, I will say they go on a space mission, which I feel like it's not the forte of either one of them. Like, I don't think either of their power set lends themselves to that. But even before we get to that, there's a really fun sequence where Wolverine steals Peter Parker's hot dog. It's also really interesting to remember, like, it's hard to keep track of who knows who Peter Parker is, but Wolverine obviously still knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So yeah, it was really fun. Let's take a look at some of the preview art. I think Ibrahim Mustafa and the team did a really good job, just giving us a very casual encounter between the heroes, but then also getting into the really cool shenanigans. And as I mentioned, this is a space type of mission. There's some really cool stuff from Spider-Man trying to hold the ship together, to them having to do pretty much board a different ship after the Stark Sentinels destroy their original ship. So yeah, if you want the full story, make sure to go check out this issue. But just really cool pacing, really great action beats, very interesting questions about how Wolverine can survive in space, and a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, this has been a really fun event, really great little series. And as I mentioned, we're getting the Sabretooth War next. I'm really happy with the books that Benjamin Percy is writing. I'm really excited to see what happens next. And also how Logan fits into the larger picture of the Fall of X, and the upcoming stuff that's happening with the X-Men line. So we'll see what happens there. But as always, some really cool covers. At the end of the video, stay tuned for those. And if you have read this, let me know what you thought about it. And let me know if you read all the other issues. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great, really neat Wolverine adventure. So, hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for the original X-Men #1. Look at this fantastic cover by Ryan Stegman. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this. This is written by Christos Gage with pencils by Greg Land, inks by Jay Liston, and colors by Frank Darmada. So what is this book? As we get close to celebrating 60 years of X-Men, the OG 5 on an all-new adventure. Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, Iceman, and Angel, the first and greatest heroes to bear the X-Men name, once traveled into their own futures to reset the course of history. Now, another multiversal mystery calls them forth. When the dust settles, one hero will remain trapped in the world as we know it, with shocking surprise, guest heart-pounding twist and turns. Christus Gage and the team kick off a story that will shake the whole Marvel universe. Um, okay, so I can think that this might be a way for Marvel to bring back some other characters that may be dead. That's my inkling. Which is cool. I love the original X Men. I love reading stories about I love when they brought them into the future. I love to now that they're back, maybe we get to catch up with them again. So definitely very excited for this. Let's take a look at some of the preview art here. As you can see, they're back in their old outfits. I think Greg Land's not my favorite artist, but I think he can definitely do some stuff in comics that still very interesting. There's a reason why Marvel keeps hiring him for a lot of books. And of course, Christus Gage, I think, can deliver a really fun story. So overall, definitely gonna check this out. I see a lot of Phoenix that we had seen in the past, probably specifically this one right here in the corner. That's definitely from a cover that Greg Land has done in the past. So, you know, interesting to see that imagery coming back up as Jean Grey here with the original X Men. So, not sure how that's gonna play out, but definitely very interested. I'll definitely be picking this up, if anything, just to get the Stegman cover. Big fan of Ryan Stegman. So looking forward to this. So I'll definitely talk more about this once we get to read the issue. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Star Wars Revelations #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative teams because this is an anthology. We have multiple stories here that I feel like some of these may be kicking off some of the future of the Star Wars line. So we have, first of all, from the Star Wars book, A Trick of Mine, written by Charles Soule with art by Andrea DeVito, Rachel Rosenberg on colors. We also have A Tale from Dr. Afra's book, Tall Tales by Elisa Wong, with David Baldeon on art and J. David Ramos on colors. Django Fett, Stolen Hope, written by Ethan Sachs, Will Sleaney on art, and Nolan Witter on colors. We also have Maze Windu, Showdown at the Ocean's Deep. This is written by Mark Bernard with art by Chris Cross and Andrew Dalhouse on colors. We have a Darth Vader story, Tool of the Empire, written by Greg Pak, with art by Salvador LaRocca, Nolan Witter on colors. And last but not, we have two more stories. The High Republic, we have All the Republic by Kevin Scott, with art by Marika Cresta, Chris Sotomayor on colors. And then last but not least, we have Duel of the Reprobates, a Jabba the Hutt story by Mark Guggenheim, with art by Silva Espen and Israel Silva on colors. And then all the letters done by Travis Lanham. And of course, some really cool covers we'll see at the end of the book. So I know for a fact that, first of all, Elisa Wong and Charles Soule and Greg Pak they're doing their respective series. I also believe Kevin Scott is working on the High Republic. So my assumption is that for the other three stories, that those may be like miniseries or things that are coming out from these creators. We definitely know that Mark Bernard will be doing a Maze Window book on Marvel. That's already been announced. So, yeah, in this book, from the High Republic to the original trilogy and beyond, Jabba the Hutt, Darth Vader, Mace Windu, Keith Trennis, Thrawn, and more, introducing new characters, new twists, and new turns across all Marvel Star Wars line. This star-studded issue puts the pieces on the board for what's to come on a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, so for sure, if you have been looking for a gateway into the Star Wars books of a line of books, this is probably a good entry point because these stories will set up everything that you kind of need to know for going forward. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. We actually have a bunch of preview art since there are multiple stories. Now I don't know exactly everyone that's doing these stories, but we do have here. I believe the first panel is from the Star Wars story. The last panel is from Django Fett. We also have even though I don't see Dr. Afra in the middle panel, in the middle page, that is the Alyssa Wong story for Dr. Afra. Um, and next we see the Maze Windu art, uh, which is really interesting to see Maze Windu not wearing Jedi robes. We also have the Darth Vader storyline that we see here as well, a little preview of that. And then we get the Jabba the Hutt story and the High Republic story. Now, the High Republic story, I can definitely tell because of the art. The Jedi robes looked a little bit different in the High Republic, and then at the end we have Jabba the Hutt. So very cool that Marvel and Star Wars are giving us preview art for all the stories. That's not normally the case in an anthology, but I think it's really important for readers to understand what they're getting into. So the way we get to see, so this is probably an oversized book. I would venture maybe about 80 pages or so, maybe even larger, maybe 96 pages, something like that. So this is definitely gonna be quite a price tag, although it is only 6.99, so maybe it's only about 8-page stories, and then since we have 8, that's around 64 pages. That makes more sense. If you have read this book, let me know which story stood out the most. We'll probably do smaller videos on each of the stories once I get to read them. I specifically want to talk about the Maze Windu one. Big fan of Mark Bernard, and I'm really interested in that book coming into the Marvel universe or the Star Wars universe, I guess. And also the Jango Fett. Big fan of Jango Fett. So hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for G.O.D.S number 3. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Valerio Schiti, Marte Gracia on colors, letters by Travis Lanham. And yeah, Jonathan Hickman's epic book continues. In this issue, Cassandra is cursed with knowing the future, but no one believes her. There are black swans in the bar. Oblivion wants to drink alone, but kids these days don't respect authority figures. Most of the ingredients are illegal outside of Hell's Kitchen. What in the world does that mean? I don't know, but I'm very intrigued. I've really been enjoying this book. Last time we were at the library picking up this magic coin while everything else is going on. Jonathan Hickman, I will say this is a tough book to like get into. I think the first issue was really cool. But then like the second one, like it even escalated things even further as far as like acts as an entry point and the how intricate the storylines are going. So I'll be looking forward to seeing this one. We have a few pages for preview art, so let's take a look. Valeria Shitty, fantastic artist. Marte Gracia, again, just having to do a lot of really cool work with a lot of these colors. I think one of the things I enjoy the most about this book is the character designs because they get to do some really cool, crazy shit. That is not something we normally see, and also just seeing this other side of the Marvel universe has been very cool. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I think this is one of the series I'll have to revisit even when it's done, to go back and really unpack everything that Jonathan Hickman's putting in this book. But I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. So hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Amazing Spider-Man number 40. Gang War here continues. Uh, this book is written by Zeb Wells with pencils by John Romita Jr., inks by Scott Hanna, colors by Marcio Menes, and letters by Joe Caramagna. In this issue, the gang war continues. Battle lines are drawn with Spidey and his crew being the only ones who can save all of New York from the worst super criminals to ever super criminal. But is Tombstone on their side? And you won't believe your eyes reading the last page of this issue. Well, now I'm a little bit more intrigued. I will say I'm not caught up in this issue. I wanted to do a preview because I'm waiting for a preview to really hook me. Now this one might do just with the last page of this. This might be the push I need to really get into this book. So we'll see. Let's take a look at some of the preview art. And I've mentioned in the live streams before that I ebb and flow with my liking of John Romita's Jr.'s art. Um, I'm not super excited about what he's doing here, specifically on this other page. I think this fastball special type of combo. Um, I don't know. I've seen John Romita Jr. do stuff like this better in the past. So yeah, I don't know. This Spider-Man book, I'm all sorts, like I'm all out of sorts with it. Like I don't know if I'm on board with the story, with the characters that it's pulling in. I think some of the one shots are, or some of the miniseries that are tied to it, are probably a lot more fun. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been connecting with the Amazing Spider-Man book for this run. There's been some stories that I like. There's been some stories that I don't. Gang War is setting up to be really dense with like tie-ins and story wise, but I don't know how much I'm really gonna get out of it. So I'll keep talking about it. If you guys enjoy the book, let me know down in the comments. I'll definitely take that into consideration. I will probably try to catch up in the next few weeks with Gang War, but there are so many books that I want to get done reading before 2023 is over that this is not really at the top of my pile of comics to read. But if you enjoy this, let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.